Welcome everyone to this new live class. And welcome Rajvi. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us this chance to have a class with one of the direct students of the great BKS Iyengar. So Iyengar is famous all over the world. And you have been very fortunate to study under him. You've been studying, practicing yoga for 40 years. And you've been teaching for more than 30 years. So what a great, great chance for all of us to be able to practice under your guidance. We thank you very much. Rajvi is still very much teaching in the Difference Institute. If you actually browse, the Iyengar Institutes, there are several in India, and there are many abroad, many center abroad. Rajvi right now teaches in Mumbai. She's also been editing articles. She's been teaching abroad and in India. And today she gives us this beautiful chance to be practicing. So please switch on your cameras, which will make the session for you also more interesting so that Rajvi can see you and help you to enter into the practice. So without making you wait more, I thank you for being here, and please introduce your class. We'll follow you. We'll have about an hour of practice, and then question and answers. You'll be invited to unmute or to use the chat. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Veronique. And thank you, Heartfulness Foundation, for inviting me to share whatever I have learned and whatever I would be able to communicate to you about Guruji BKS Iyengar's teaching. So without much ado, we will start with the invocation. So I'm joined by Bhagwati Thatte, my fellow practitioner, who would be also supporting me during the practice. So first, I would request all of you to settle down. So sit. You can sit in Padmasana, those who can. Some of you are practitioners. Some of you are not practitioners, so you can take a couple of bolsters. You can take blankets or sit on a height. So sit on a height in such a manner. The purpose is that the abdomen should not drop. Your spine, your chest is lifted. So depending on your health condition, depending on your flexibility, you will sit. So first sit straight, spine erect, chest lifted, extend the collarbones, broaden the shoulders, and join the palms in front of your chest. Extend the upper eyelid down. To close your eyes as we will be reciting the invocation to Sage Patanjali and to Guruji. As this may be a first experience of Iyengar Yoga for some of you, there may be anticipation, excitement, apprehension. So first, we need to get into a neutral state. And for that, allow your eyeballs to withdraw towards the back of the skull. As if the eyes withdraw to the back of the skull, they quieten. As the eyes quieten, the brain cells quieten. As Guruji Iyengar has said, eyes are the windows to the brain. But by just closing the eyelids, the brain doesn't quieten. And if the brain and the mind wanders, then we cannot get into the practice of yoga. So allow the eyeballs to withdraw towards the back of the skull. Silently observe the flow of the breath, the touch of the breath in and around the nostrils, And in this quiet, focused state of mind, we shall invoke the blessings of Sage Patanjali and Guruji. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram munina patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi Avahu Purushakaram Shankhachakrasya Sahasrashirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Hari Om. With an exhalation, bow the head down. Release the palms, lift the head up, open the eyes. So welcome to this introductory session to understand what Guruji B.K.S. Iyengar's teachings are. It's just to give you a taste, a flavor of the subject. Now, first and foremost, I would like to start by saying that although we students call what we practice, what we teach as Iyengar Yoga, Guruji himself has said, yoga is one. So there is nothing like yoga, Iyengar Yoga. However, the uniqueness of his teachings, the uniqueness of his experience, we students started calling it that. So what is this unique experience? And I'm going to make it very, very simple. So when we talk of yoga, what do we talk about? We say, what is yoga? And any practitioner or anybody who studied the subject, even theoretically, will say yoga is union of the individual consciousness with the universal consciousness. I am a simpleton. I have no great knowledge. So I would first like to understand what is consciousness. If I understand what is consciousness, then I can consider my individual consciousness merging with the universal consciousness. So first, what is consciousness? Now, I don't want to go into a deep meaning. I'm trying to learn as an introductory beginner. To me, being conscious is what is when something is being felt. So we call, if a person is in a hospital, we know, we say, oh, this person is unconscious. When is that person unconscious? The person is alive. He is breathing, but there is no sensation, there is no feeling, there is no life. So the person is alive, but without life. Then we call that person unconscious. So for me, consciousness is when there is life. And where is the life? Not by my speech, but life in each and every cell of the body, because my body is composed of trillions of cells and I need to feel life in them. So how do we go about? So we use the medium of asanas, loosely, very loosely translated as postures. So what is an asana? We say different yogic postures. However, there are very many Sanskrit terms where we don't have an English equivalent. So we try to understand. So we will start, because it's an experiential subject and it's a live class, we will stand up. And first, you will stand in what is called a Tadasana. I would request all of you, if you're practicing, to switch on your videos as I would come closer and look at you, call out your names if any corrections can be done, so that your experience can be better. So now when we stand, supposing we stand casually, the body weight is going down. There is dullness. The chest is sinking. So I need to stand in such a manner that my legs act like pillars of a structure, of a building on which my trunk stands. So I would raise the foot up. So for you to see properly, I raise the sole of my foot up, broaden the feet, widen the feet and place the sole down. Same thing I do with the other leg, other foot, broaden and allow the foot to go down. Observe how the thigh muscles move back, knees get lifted. And then as we proceed, so spreading the foot well, so you have now seen it, spread, widen, and feel how the sensations move upwards. So as if on the legs, like the legs of a table, the body is standing. Now allow the inner thighs to come closer. Sensation, feel the pose, feel the body, lift the chest up, widen the shoulders, and extend the arms down. This is Tadasana. Now you can feel the entire range of the body. Can you also feel the arms? So like you have mounts on the feet, you have mounts on the fingers, extend the arms down. Look straight ahead. Eyes at the level of the eyes. Looking straight. Looking but not reacting. So the senses move it. Allow the shoulders to go back. Neck long. Now release. This is Tadasana. Now I will be demonstrating the asanas to you, get you to do it, and then maybe give instructions while doing. So we will move now to the next asana, Adho, Mukha, Svanasana. Adho is downwards, Mukha is the face, and a Svana is a dog. Now what you would do in Adho, Mukha, Svanasana is open out the palms well. Spread the palms, open out the palms well, make the arms vertical. So as if, Ankur, you can spotlight only one person, so the vision is bigger. Now, move the arms up as if you're standing on your arms. You're a four-legged creature standing on your arms. Now, pressing the palms, lift the trunk up. Now, keep moving the palms down. See that the arms lean. Let the arms lean. Don't drop the arms. Extend the trunk and allow the head to extend down. Okay, so first you will do it. I will be observing you. And then I will watch all of you while you do it. I'll be spotlighting Bhagwati, so in case. So now, all of you, first spread your palms well. Open out the palms, be on the floor. If you can be sideways, that is better. So I can see all of you. Priya, if you can be horizontal. So, okay, you need to see the camera. Now open out the palms well. Place the palms down. Now pressing the palms down, feel as if the arms are lifted up. So palms are pressed down, but the sensation in the arms is lifted up. Keep moving the sensation in the arms up. Move the sensation in the arms up. Now exhale, raise the knees off the floor and lean the arms. Arms leaning, feet as wide as your hips. Don't keep the feet together. Lean the arms. Lean the arms. Let the arms lean. And as the arms lean, exhale, extend the head down towards the floor. Extend the head down. Do not let the head get sucked in. Remember, the neck always has to be long. Neck has to be long. Exhale. Elongate the arms, allow the head to go. The upper back has to flatten. Hemant, or at least Hemant written there, elbows straight. Elbows off the floor. Elbows off the floor. Now exhale, come down. Now that you have done it once, you will observe better. Because what happens is that when you see it first time, now watch. Now as I'm going to place my palms, how the back should be. So this, remember, in our day-to-day activities, what is the condition of the back? The shoulders come back. Whether you're typing, cooking, writing, whatever you do, this is the position, and therefore the neck shortens. Remember, the neck is one of the neck and the throat is the most crucial part of the body because that connects you with the brain, and it is the brain that controls all parts of the body. So if the neck shortens, you are creating problem. And secondly, the upper back cannot sink. The upper back has to go in. You see, when the upper back goes in, how the chest opens. So if the chest sinks, the mind shrinks, emotions shrink, which we would term it as depression. So we cannot allow the chest to sink. The chest has to be lifted, and the different asanas help us to do that. Now watch how I place my palms. So as I place, I open out the fingers well, open out, base of the palms resting. Now, after pressing the palms, I will not let the body weight go, I lift. So as the stool, the legs of the table, as I said, structure, the pillar, now see how I move. I don't let go. See how my neck remains long. I exhale, keep moving the shoulders up, neck elongating, and allow the chest to go down. Allow the upper back to go towards the chest, not like this. Here the neck shrinks, chest sinks. You cannot allow the chest to sink. The practitioner of yoga cannot be having a depressed chest. So extend the arms and allow that armpit to open to descend down. Okay, now try once again. Ankur, the recording is paused. I don't know, Achai, because it's live. Okay, so now widen the palms, palms as wide as your shoulders. Press the palms down and raise the shoulders up. Pressing the palms, raise the shoulders. You cannot have the shoulders dropping. Arms absolutely straight. You cannot afford the arms, elbows to bend. Now exhale, raise the knees off the floor. Raise the knees off the floor and allow the arms to lean. Open out that armpit. Armpit open. Now shoulders lifting up, neck extending down. Shoulders lifting, neck extending. Legs straight, knees firm. Do not shorten the neck. Normal breathing, normal breathing. Stay there for a couple of seconds more. Now frontal thigh muscles moving back. Now inhale and come up. We'll repeat it again. Now, once again, you will stand in Tadasana. Now understand, the human body is made of bones, muscles, and the bones and the joints. Now, if my bones have to be kept in place, the muscles have to embrace the bones. If my muscles are loose, then all the body weight comes on the knees and we say, oh, knee pain. Oh, body weight goes on the back pain. So now we have to have the frontal thigh muscles going back, middle of the buttocks going forward, so your body becomes straight. So now stand in Tadasana once again, slightly widen the feet. Now press the full foot on the floor, as if the foot is going to go into the floor like a tree. So like a tree has roots. If the tree has to become strong, the roots have to penetrate inside. So let the feet as if spreading and the roots coming out of the feet going into the floor. Keep moving it down. Now let the thigh muscles go back. Let the muscles embrace the bone. Muscles cannot be loose. Let it embrace. Middle of the buttocks embracing the bones. Now see what is the space in the abdomen. Stand in Tadasana, get the imprint. Now you'll be doing Utthita Trikonasana. Now watch what will we do. Now in case any of you have knee pain or back pain, you will not jump. The others, take the palms to the chest, slightly flex your knees, inhale, jump. But for those who have knee problems, back problems, I'm specifying those because it's a very common problem, just spread your legs. Now extend the arms to the side. Create space in the elbow joints, so arms cannot fall. You see now the body is falling. Body has to be lifted up. Tips of the fingers extending to the side. Now turn the left foot in, only the foot, thigh muscles rolling in. So turn only the foot, abdomen, not the abdomen, only the foot. Turn the right leg out. Completely turn the leg. Now muscle goes into the bone, muscle goes into the bone. Exhale, take the arm down. Come on. So I will guide you through it. So now feet together, stand in Tadasana. Stand in Tadasana, all of you. Now, as you stand in Tadasana, frontal thigh muscles embracing the bone. Let the bone be embraced by the muscle. Bone on its own is useless. Let it embrace. Extend the palms down. Extend the tips of the fingers down. Neck long. Now, if you do not have back pain, knee pain, palms to the chest, jump and spread your feet apart. The others, spread your legs out. Good distance. Look down. Are your toes facing the front or are the feet angular? Inner edges of the feet parallel. Extend the fingers away. Keep extending the fingers away so the muscle rests on the bone. Now, turn the left foot in, only the foot, and completely turn the right leg out. Completely turn the right leg out. Even let the head of the right thigh muscle move out. Now, suck the thigh muscle in. Right thigh muscle going into the socket. Remember, the leg is different from the bone. The leg is different from the pelvic region. Sucking the leg into the socket. Exhale, take the arm down. From the head of the thigh. From the head of the thigh. Not from the waist. From the head of the thigh. Now extend the top arm straight up. So as if somebody is pulling your wrist up. Keep moving the arm up. Inhale, come up. Turn the foot in. Take the arms on the waist. Move the elbows back so that the chest lifts up. Elbows further back. Snehal, Snehal Mane. Yes. Now see how the chest lifts up. Good. Now turn the right foot in. Left leg out. Completely turn the leg. Remember, abdomen is separate from the leg. The abdomen cannot turn. Now extend the arms to the side. Tips of the fingers extending. Keep moving the tips of the fingers so that your body is lifted up. Now allow the thigh muscle, left thigh muscle, embrace the bone. Let it move into the bone. Let the left thigh muscle go into the socket. Like you tuck your t-shirt in, the muscle should be tucked into the socket. Now exhale, extend the arms down by allowing the flesh to go sucked into the socket as your arm goes down. Keep moving the arm, but ensure that the muscle doesn't become loose. Stay there with normal breathing. Observe the thigh. Observe the thigh. Observe the chest. Chest fully open. You cannot expect the chest to sink. That's the first condition. Now inhale and come up. Turn the foot in, feet together. Now while you are sitting with your feet together, stand in Tadasana. We will repeat Trikonasana once again, but I will explain to you now what appears to be an asana, where and what is an asana. Asana means Thiram Sukham Asanam. That's the definition that Sage Patanjali has given. There has to be sthirata. Now, when will there be sthirata? So if I just spread and I go, now you see my whole body is collapsing. There cannot be sthirata. Sthirata requires all the cells of my body to be alive, conscious. So when I turn my foot, I will ensure. Now you see how I brought life? Here I'm down. So all I do is press the foot, ground the foot. Now you can see the trunk lifting up. Now when I turn my leg, I will ensure thigh muscle is loose. Go in. Now you saw the immediate change. When the thigh muscle is loose, the trunk is loose. There is no life, there is no consciousness. If there is no consciousness, no feeling, how can I proceed on the path of yoga? So through the body, I'm going to do. Now as I keep moving, I will maintain. So my chest cannot collapse like this. I maintain it. I maintain it. I see that my sensations in the body are maintained. so that stability sets in. So whatever the pose, the stability has to set in. And I extend the tips of the fingers, elbows firm. Inhale, come up. So we'll repeat once again. So spread the legs out. Widen the feet. So I have told you already, depending on your condition, widen. Extend the tips of the fingers. Away, away. Now exhale, turn the left foot in, right leg out. Completely turn, bring life. So left foot, left side trunk, bring life. It cannot be done. Now as you turn the right leg out, again see that you separate the abdomen from the trunk. Abdomen cannot turn. Now extending the arm away, moving the flesh of the thigh deeper in. Exhale, take your arm down. Side trunk flat. Chest well open. So if your muscles are sucked in well, if your legs are strong, your trunk receives well. If the legs are weak, trunk doesn't receive. Your spine is lengthened. You are in a state of stability. Observe the breath, see the smoothness in the breath. Inhale, come up, change the side. So now turn the right foot in, left leg turning out. Remember, when the leg turns in, your side trunk should be lifted. It cannot be dull. Now turn the leg out, bring life. The body cannot be there with dead cells. Each cell makes the system. Now extending the arms away. Flesh of the thigh moving in, sucking it in. Allow the trunk to descend. Allow the trunk to descend. So as it goes, flatness. Remember, flesh of the thigh cannot become loose. You cannot permit the flesh of the thigh to become loose. Legs are the pillars of the building of the body. You cannot afford the pillars to be slack. Now inhale and come up, turn the foot in, feet together. Now we will move to another pose. Now I'm going to show you how much the muscle plays a role on the joints. We may think that by working on the muscles and the joints, the asanas become physical practice. It is not true, because to move the muscles back, what moves the muscle back? What moves the thigh muscle upwards? It is your mind. Nobody comes and moves it. Your mind gets involved. And then that mind gets involved, then there is change in the structure, which again quietens the mind. So now what you will do, move the thigh muscles back. Move the thigh muscles up. Now try to bend your leg. You will notice you can't bend your leg unless the muscles move away. But if the muscles are constantly away, you have trouble in the joints. So now we will do Parsvottanasana. Like Trikonasana, turn the foot in, but life in the side chest. Turn the right leg out. Completely turn. Now slightly flex your knees, move the muscle away, and then exhale. Make a perfect right angle. Extend the arms and take the arm down. Top hand straight up over the head. Now if you cannot do it, top hand straight up, or you can even place it on the waist and allow the chest to open. First condition, chest should not sink. So hands on the waist and turn and look straight in the front. Youngsters can look up. Inhale, come up, turn the foot in, feet together. So now you will be doing it. So spread the legs out. Turn the right foot in. Left foot in, right leg turning out. First, suck the thigh. Muscle bone contact is essential for the health of the body. Muscles become loose. We lose the health of the body, health of the joints. Joints get loose, rest of the body. Now exhale, bend your leg at the knee. Bend, exhale, descend down, bend the leg at the knee. Now extending the arm away, take the arm without lifting the thigh. Without lifting the head of the thigh. Head of the thigh lifts up. Let it descend down. Increase the distance between the feet. Remember, if the distance is less, the head of the thigh lifts up. So allow the head of the thigh to descend. Hands on the waist. Paschimottanasana, hands on the waist. So keeping that hand, move the elbow back. So the chest remains open. Now inhale, take the arm over the head, extending the arm over the head. Keep moving, elbows firm. Remember, only if you extend the arms will the muscles embrace the bone. Now inhale and come up. Straighten out the leg. Turn the foot in. Jump, feet together, stand in Tadasana. Now Tadasana, don't just stand straight. It's a time to get the chest lifted. Chest broaden, muscle back. And allow the shoulder blades to go in. So asanas are practiced not with the brain, but with the heart. Heart senses, heart feels. So you feel the asana. So emotions are strongly involved in the practice of asana. You are totally inwards. Now Parsvottanasana on the other side. So jump and or spread the feet apart. Now turn the right foot in, lift the right side, turn the left leg out, completely turn the leg from the head of the thigh. Exhale, allow the trunk to descend. Although the trunk is descending, the body cannot collapse. I hope I'm differentiating between what is collapsing and what is descending. Let the trunk descend, let that spine descend. Now exhale, extend the arms away from you. Exhale, take the arm down. Whole arm goes down. Exhale, allow the hip. Remember, if you feel blockage in the hip, your knees are coming in. Now, hands on the waist, move the elbow back. So the chest opens out well. Now inhale, take the arm up, extend the arm up. Now exhale, extend the arm over the head. Now see, when we are doing these asanas, we are creating space in each and every joint of the spine. Now inhale and come up. Turn the foot in, feet together. Stand again in Tadasana. While standing, in case the screen is not visible, you can sit or you can stand. We will be doing one more standing asana, which is Parsvottanasana. Now, you will keep your hands on the waist. Both these asanas that we did, the body was lateral and we turned. Now, this time, the body will be facing the front. Now, turn again, muscle close to the bone. This is muscle moving away. You can see the bend. Muscle moving close to the bone. Exhale, press the feet. Just allow that thigh muscle. It has to become good friends with the bone. Then your joints don't trouble you. So let the thigh muscle go back. See how the spine lengthens, how the neck lengthens, and take your palms down. If the muscle loosens, head shrinks. So muscle back towards the bone. Exhale, take the head in. Okay. So once again, I'm showing you will spread the legs, turn completely towards the front, muscle back. When the muscle goes back, let me show you from the front. When the muscle goes back, trunk adjusts. When the muscle is loose, trunk doesn't adjust. So move the muscle back. Exhale, extend the trunk forward and take the palms down. Again, see that the chest is well open. Inhale, come up, and face the front. So Parsvottanasana, Parshva is side. So now be sideways, spread the legs out, hands on the waist, move the frontal thigh, left leg, right leg forward, left leg back, move the thigh muscles. So what have we learned? We are learning to make the muscle go to the bone and straighten out the legs. Knees enhance the space between the femur, the thigh bone, and the shin bones. Now exhale, keep moving the muscle back. Elbows moving back so the chest is well exposed. Now exhale, extend the trunk forward. Elongate the trunk. Don't try to take the head down. Elongate the trunk, make the trunk long, and then drop your arms down. Let the palms, if the palms reach the floor, it is fine. If they don't reach the floor, don't bend your legs. Flexibility has nothing to do with the practice of asanas. In fact, if you are not flexible, you will learn more. So sometimes we use props. If you have some dabba at home, some box at home, you can place it by the side. So your hands are placed on the box and then you can stay. Now inhale and come up. Again, make the trunk long as you come up. Turn the foot in. So both the feet now face the front and turn to the side. Now do it on your left side. Hands on the waist, elbows moving back, chest lifted, frontal thigh muscles back. Remember, right from the start, we are training the muscle to embrace the bone. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshanam. Why? These are not just outwardly attributes. Maitri has to be there between our body parts too. The muscle and bone should have Maitri, friendliness. Then they have compassion on the joints. Now moving the muscles back, extend the trunk forward. Extend the trunk forward. Each vertebra gets elongated. Elbows back, chest well open. Now there is life, different cells of the body get activated. Now exhale, drop the palms down. If they don't reach, but no compromise on the legs. Legs cannot compromise. So whatever we talk about the legs has to be maintained. And when the palms don't reach, you can place it on any support. So as if, like we have an extension of the arms, like you have an extension in the seat belt on flights, you have extension of the arms. Place them down, stay there, elongating the trunk, inhale, come up. So these were, and face the front and sit. So these were just a few standing asanas. Now, within the available time frame, I also want you to understand the other asanas. So first, you will sit. So you will sit in what is Vajrasana. So wherein you will sit on your feet. Okay, if any of you have pain in the knees, just take a support. Since you are at home, you can take bolster, pillows and sit on the height so your knee is not straight. In case it is very severe, you can sit on a chair. Then after sitting in Vajrasana, interlock the fingers. Now when I say interlock, the interlock has to be strong, not weak. Interlock well and extend the arms up. Now when you extend, remember, I cannot do this. This is what one tends to do. So interlock the fingers well and keep moving the arms higher and higher up as if my entire trunk is being lifted. I want to aerate, like we want to breathe. Every cell of my body wants to breathe. So if they are hidden, they don't get exposed, they can't breathe. So expose the cells. See how the chest opens. Now release, take the arms down, change the interlock. So one is natural, we are used to it. The other, you may have to think. So place it, extend and take the arms up. Keep moving without shortening the neck. This is shortening, lengthening the neck. Now from armpit to the wrist, wrist to the armpit to the elbows, elbows to the wrist. Extend up. Normal breathing. Let the upper back move in. Upper back should not. It has to go. The muscle moving to the bone has to continue even with the upper back. Now exhale, release. Take the arms down. And now we will sit in Baddha Konasana. Now Baddha Konasana is where you join the feet. Different schools call it by different names, so don't get too perturbed. But you will bring the feet closer and you want to sit erect. Now what is important here is that whenever you sit on the floor, you need to sit in such a manner that the flesh of the buttock should not descend. So you sit on the frontal edges and you will sit straight. You saw this is moving up. If this goes down, what happens to my back? It loses its normal curvature and from the front, the chest sinks. So if I sit like this, chest sinks. Chest cannot sink. Remember, abdomen needs space. So since many of you, I will say sit. Take some pillows that you have at home and sit on that pillow, bolster, and see that if you can create. Remember, our digestive, excretory, reproductive organs lie here. And they need space. So we need to create space. How we say, I need space. So now give it space. So to give it space, moment you sit on a height, you observe the space. So the abdomen cannot become like a sofa where you slouch down and everything bulges here. Get that straightness. Now further, like we did in standing asanas, take the palms cup shaped by the side, allow the chest to lift up. You saw what I'm doing? So place the palms cup shaped, fingers, elbows back, lift the chest up. So there is abdominal space. If those muscles become loose here, abdominal space goes. Muscles go close to the bone, abdominal space is created. Chest is open. When the heart is open, head is quiet. When the heart is sunk, mind wanders. So body and mind can never be separated. You can never say, this is body, this is mind. Body does not exist without the mind. So but the mind has to penetrate into the body. So now as you raise up, you feel spreading. So like we iron our clothes, iron the skin by spreading it. Stay there. Now from here, we will go into Konasana, spreading the legs out. Now we had done standing poses before this. So in the standing asanas, you had the foot grounded. So imagine there is a wall here. Imagine there is a wall here and you're pressing your feet against the wall. So let the feet press against the wall without compromising the abdominal space. Let the muscles sit on the bone. Muscles come up. Remember, abdominal space is gone. That means your organs will not get breath or less breath. I won't say they become breathless, less breath. So breathing is not just respiratory, cellular breathing. Now, as the organs get breath, they will get life. So if we are cut off from breath, we start feeling lifeless. So COVID times, people are measuring oxygen levels constantly. Because if the oxygen drops, all the organs are going to be affected. So similarly, let the breath reach all the extremities. And what makes us unique is the utilization of the mind in the body. The mind goes to the body. This is Konasana. Now from here, sit in Dandasana, extend the legs. Now, sitting poses, one has to be very careful because there's a tendency for people to slouch. So the moment the trunk, lower back slouches, the chest sinks, then be assured that if you sit in this manner, you are definitely going to get back pain in the future. This is diagnostic. So you need to sit in such a manner that your trunk remains elevated. If you cannot get this lift, just sit on something. So, traditionally we used to sit on something, even with cross legs. So sit, raise the trunk up. So allow the head of the thigh. Remember, the buttock is different from the back of the thigh. Theoretically, we know. Can you separate it and sit exactly on the upper back of the thigh? Sit exactly on the upper back of the thigh. So you are straight. Now, whether you are sitting exactly on that upper back of the thigh will be gauged by extending the arms up. So if your body doesn't slouch like this, then you are sitting on the upper back of the thigh or the inner edges of the buttock bone. Extend the arms. Frontal thighs going down. Now exhale, release this, and we will now proceed to Paschimottanasana. So now when we are going, remember it is a forward extension. Do not think of taking the head down. Think of letting the muscles go down towards the bone. Exhale, extend the trunk forward, hold the sides of the foot and raise the chest up. So no slouching, under no condition should the upper dorsal back hit your clothes. The upper back has to go in and move away. In case, now some of you will say, I'm stiff. If I can't reach, what should I do? So you have a belt at home. You may have a towel at home. You may have dupattas at home. Extend it. Hold it. Now extend. You see a movement of the trunk? Extend the trunk and be there. So your chest remains open. This is not permissible because the head shrinks in. Your major pathway between the head and the chest is getting narrowed. Traffic jam. Break the traffic jam. Come on. Now try again. So now sit. As I was showing, you were doing. Now I'm going to observe you. So start by sitting in Baddha Konasana. Sit in Baddha Konasana facing the front. So you already did it. Now you will repeat it. So sit on a little height. If you cannot, you feel muscles close to the bone. Widen the feet and make sure that you place your hands by the sides and raise the trunk up. The abdomen cannot collapse. If the abdomen collapses, just increase the height on which you are sitting. That's all. You don't have to let the body slouch. Just increase the height on which you are sitting. Hands at the back, lift the chest, widen the shoulders, neck long. Upper back in. Look straight in the front. If the body slouches, mind wanders. So body indicates the state of the mind. Usha, try to become still taller. Sitting a little more height. Still taller. You have pillows there. Now release. Now widen the feet. Now, after widening the feet, imagine that there is a wall. You are standing on a wall. Although you are sitting, imagine there's a wall by the sides of your, in front of your feet. And raise the trunk up. Raise the trunk up. Now, as I said earlier, back of the head of the thigh. Remember, there's back of the thigh and there's a head of the back of the thigh. Separating it from the buttock, allow it to descend down. Let it go down, frontal thigh down, so that the chest lifts up, head of the thigh down, chest up, abdominal space. You want your abdominal organs to breathe. So be very careful. As we don't like cut off, as we as individuals would not like being cut off from breathing, even the organs don't want to be cut off from breathing. Now bring the legs closer. Bring the legs closer together for Dandasana. So remember, now test. Are you sitting on the back of the head of the thighs? So I've said back of the head of the thighs. Are you sitting on that? Now I can find out whether you are sitting or not by interlocking the fingers and taking the arms up. If the body collapses or you find it difficult, that means you are not on the head of the back of the thigh. Just sit on more height. I'm giving you a simple solution. It doesn't matter. You need to sit on a height. It's fine. Now release the palms. So keep the palms facing each other. At the top, Ustrasana arms. Now if the body collapses, means you are not sitting on the head of the back of the thigh. Allow the thighs to descend. Your mind lacks like a way to allow the thighs to descend. Now exhale, extend the trunk from the head of the thighs. Head of the thighs. If your hands don't reach, just pull out a towel or a napkin, something, or a bed sheet which is close by and hold the legs. or hold that towel, or now raise the chest up. Raise the chest. Your body should not touch your t-shirt behind. So now that is not good friendship. So as parents are concerned about whom the children's friends are. So don't let the back touch your clothes. Let the upper back move away from your cloth of the t-shirt. Move it away. Now come up. Release. Now I'm going to make you do Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Now Setu Bandha Sarvangasana is done. So wait, before that we will do Ustrasana. Ustrasana, most of you would, those I see many of your practitioners, now how you would be doing it is, you will continue with what was learned in standing poses. Now, except that in standing poses, what did we say? Feet grounded. Now, as if my lower leg is now my foot. So it has to be grounded. So I stand tall. If the leg is dull, it is coming up, then my body collapses. Now, supposing it doesn't go. Supposing I find my ankle gets lifted up, all I need to do is take a blanket. So we all have blankets at home, roll it, okay, and place it. So any condition, see, everybody is not flexible, you place it. Now ground the thigh. So muscle, go close to the bone. Now place your hands on the hips and take the elbows back. We did that in standing poses. Place the hands on the buttocks, move the elbows back, frontal thigh muscles towards the bone, exhale, curve. Exhale, curve. Those who can take the hands down. Those who cannot, you have your bolsters. So there are a lot of options available. It doesn't mean that you skip the pose. You can place the bolster, hands on the hips, curve. Then place the hand on the bolster. So few days do like this. Come on, back to Vajrasana. Come on. Make one attempt with that lift. So now kneel on the floor. Let the feet press, not the feet also press. Let the shin bones also press on the floor. Going. Now hands on the hips. Bend your elbows. Elbows closer. Open out the chest. Upper back should not become friends with the t-shirt behind. Upper back going to the chest. Now exhale, taking the elbows closer. Make the spine long. Don't just curve. Make the spine long. If you shorten the spine, flexible people just shorten the spine. If your hands don't reach, continue keeping them on the waist. Tomorrow you can put a bolster on your feet. But do not curve from the spine. Make it long. So you have, most people, you have pillows. Put those pillows on your thighs. Feet. Now come up. Sit down. Rest. Rest for a while. You'll be recover. Again here, thigh muscles down. Can the abdomen shrink? No. We all, I would say, majority people would prefer a flat abdomen, except pregnancies. Nobody wants their abdomen bulging out. Aesthetic. Now, who decides that this aesthetic condition is good? Why can't a bulging abdomen be good? So if we want to say that aesthetically, it means that there is space for the abdomen. Now repeat once again. So sit. Ground the shins on the floor. Ground, like I said, Tadasana, as if there are roots coming out of your feet. Ground the shins. Now place the hands on the hips, elbows closer. Make the spine long. If, Madam Kalpana, take the hands lower. You're curving from the back, you may get back pain. Place the hands on the hips. Yes. Elbows closer. Elbows closer. Let the spine become long. Long. Do not curve from the lumbar. If you curve from the lumbar, you can get back pain. Hands can be on the hips. Now you can drop the palms down or place it on a height like a bolster or keep it on your hips. Keep it on your hips. So let the chest open out. So your heart, remember the heart opens out. Hanumanji's heart. Open that chest region out. Now inhale and come up. Kneel. Now why you are there? Just for you to understand. Why am I insisting so much on becoming taller? Remember, the lumbar area of the spine is the most flexible. And therefore, you'll have a lot of people coming having lower back pain. L1, L2, L4, L5, L5, S1. These are common complaints because we just curve from the lumbar. So flexible people just curve from the lumbar. Now, when you do that, the space between the vertebrae diminishes, and that's where back pain starts. So you have to retain that height as you curve, not like this. Moment you just loosely curve, you're overusing your lumbar, and you're going to create problems. Now, before we proceed, you will be doing Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So if you have, you can take pillows. So at least one kind of an impression. So you will sit on this, right? Loosen the t-shirt because sometimes the t-shirt gets tight at the throat. Lean back. So for the first time, your chest is leaning back. All this while chest was open. Then slide down. Slide down. Now you see how shoulders roll back and straighten out your legs. Stay by the side. So I repeat to show, you will sit somewhere on the middle. So you can take a pile of blankets, pile of pillows, harder the better. It can be about 6 to 8 inches high. Sit, lean back, and then see my shoulder, how they go. So your shoulders rest, not the shoulder blade. This is shoulder blade, shoulder, and then straighten out the legs. Arms to the side. With your hands, you can release the skin of the back of the skull and lie back. To come up, you will stay. I'm just showing you. Just push the bolster away and lie back. So let me see. You can I'll give you a moment to find your props, pillows. Sit more towards the frontal edge. Lean back, spine resting, so you can find some support in your own house. And then lie back, shoulders descending towards the floor. If you're using pillows, Prakash, pillows lengthwise. So not horizontal, but lengthwise. So more of your spine can be supported. And slowly slide down so that the shoulders descend towards the floor. So as you lie back, shoulders descend. Take your arms to the side, completely let go. So the support makes you open out that chest that I was referring to. If in case your back is hurting, just spread out the legs or bend the legs. Completely let go. See that you're not tightening your lips or the throat. Observe the breath. The breath now becomes soft, smooth. Yeah, Mr. S.V. Reddy, just slide down a little more. You are sitting correctly. Yes, bend your legs, sit on that support, and just let your shoulders slide down. So your chest is higher than the shoulders. Yeah. Let the breath settle down. As you stay, how the breath becomes softer and longer. See how the brain cells. So when I started the class, I talked about allowing the cells to move, eyes to move towards the back of the skull. Now here it naturally happens. Naturally the eyes withdraw. Now bend your knees. Just push the support away and just lie back. Let go your feet, let go your arms. Just lie back on that floor, on the mat, whatever you are on. If your head is being thrown back, which means if your chin is moving far away from the chest, then support the back of the head. Like you with a pillow. See that no part of the upper arm is touching the sides of the chest. Completely let go. As if the body is merging with the floor. It's Savasana, it's a corpse. So completely let go. This is the only time you will not hold the muscles. To relax. So as if you are scanning the body. So with your attention, move towards the heels. Your heels are touching the floor or the blanket or the mat on which you are lying. Now find out, is there a balance between the two? Or is the left heel turning out too much as compared to the right? So we all want equanimity, but bring about a removal of the state of duality. Let this duality in the body be removed. The left and right both are ours. So treat them equally. Scan the contact of the back of the thighs on the floor. The contact of the back. The upper arms rolling out. Forearms, wrist. Which part of the left palm is touching? Back of the hand is touching. Completely let go the body. Now, the organs of action, the karmendriyas, which had been working for the last 1 hour, are relaxed. But what about the face, the senses? At least the organs of actions can be relaxed volitionally. So draw your attention towards your temples. As if that skin around the temples is dropping down to the floor. Corners of the eyes extending towards the floor on either side. Soft exhalations. Slow, soft inhalations. Now keep your attention around the nostrils. Slow, extremely soft exhalations. Exhalations bring about a sense of surrender. The dissolution of the I, the capital I, the ego, the ahamkar, the major, which gives us our identity. So if we talk of merging of the individual with the universal, then that I-ness has to be submissive. So every exhalative breath is a submission of that I-ness. The breath becomes softer and smoother. And then you can just let go. Just remain there silent. No more observations. No more activity. But a state of receptivity. And then slowly bend your legs. Open your eyes. turn to the side and then sit up. And hold the palms in front of your chest. Sense of gratitude to Guruji. Then lift the head up, open the eyes. This marks the end of this, what I refer to as a flavor of the class. And I'm open to any questions, any queries that you may have.
Thank you, Rajvi. Thank you, Bhagavati, for the demonstration. And thank you for this peep into Iyengar style. Like you said, it's a yoga class. You've been instructed and you could feel the power of the voice of the master behind your instructions. So a lot of guidance. I'm sure we will have questions. And if you want to use the chat, please use the chat. If you want to unmute, I know we have people from a little bit over the world, if I can see, from Singapore to Europe. And I think, you know, people who registered and could not join directly, you'll be able to see it on YouTube. So don't worry, the class is also there. So people can watch it later. You can practice again if you want, and you can share it. So if you want to unmute, but before, you know, the questions come, please also raise your hand so we can, we already have a question from Gauri.
Yeah.
Would you like to unmute, Gauri, and ask your question? Can you unmute? Are you able to unmute? Mukha, could you make sure people can unmute themselves?
Thank you so much. I think it was a really nice class. I have a question for Rajvi. In one of the standing asanas, you know, I have a problem with my knee, so I couldn't bend my knee. Is there a prop that I could use to be able to do that?
Yeah. So actually, before I would even see, because obviously this is one class, first I would make you do other asanas like Suprapadam Ustrasana. So you develop. So when somebody says that they cannot bend the knee, generally, so you know what happens is, like I said, right from the start, the muscle has to go closer. So first I would teach you more of Trikonasana, Parsvottanasana, where you learn. Afterwards, when you want to bend, if there is pain in the front of the knee, from what I guess, you cannot bend because there must be pain here. I would say allow the thing to go backwards. So when it goes back, or sometimes you can sit on a stool which is of the same height, so you can get the movement. So it will come gradually, but never allow the weight to go towards the knee. It has to go away from the knee. So there are other asanas which we would make you do before learning to bend in case there's a knee issue.
So actually, I think I can bend, but I'm feeling slightly uncertain. So can I hold something with one hand as I bend?
Yes, you may hold, but more important is as you bend, make sure that the muscle doesn't go towards the knee. It has to go away from the knee. So you can hold, let the muscle go away, or the knee often pains because the hip is not working well, from the head of the thigh. So this is the head of the thigh. If it moves, there is load on the knee. So I move the head of the thigh back. Then also the knee will bend better.
Thank you so much.
Okay? Yeah.
Thank you, Gauri. So we have a question from Chani from Singapore. Would you like, if you are able to unmute?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Veronique. Thank you, Dr. Mehta. Yeah, I've got two related questions. Most of the other yoga that we were exposed to, they have a lot of rest in between change of pose. I noticed that you don't have much rest. You wait until the end and then you rest. So why is that, number one? And number two is that there's so many types of yoga. So what should be followed? Because then we'll get confused on what we should do. So maybe some guide on what we should be using to do.
See, as practitioners of yoga, I mean, we have our own traditions which are based on the Guru. Now, this is a very relevant question, because what should we follow? What should we do? What is right? There are so many interpretations. Now, the text, to me, the classical text is Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Okay. Now, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, if we take the sutras, it gives you what is to be understood. So, there are only 3 sutras on asanas. Stiram Sukham Asanam, which means there has to be stability in what you do. Now, texts are subject to interpretation. And that is why you have commentaries of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras over the last hundreds of years, and it still keeps on coming. So we need to understand. So as the understanding goes, when it says sthirata, it's stability. Sukhata is the sense of joy, composure, stability, joy. Then you have asana is the posture, loose translation. Now, somebody can interpret it as Thiram Sukham Asanam is doing something in which you are comfortable and happy or stable. However, that means we are restricting ourselves to a limited confinements, which is fine. But if we can do more, but attain stability, then you're breaking the confinements. And that is what yoga is. So I'm not saying like the lady before who asked that there's a knee problem, that force yourself. No, you learn the technique so that you do not get strained, so that stability comes in. And therefore, it doesn't happen overnight. And therefore, Patanjali also says that that long hours of uninterrupted practice are required to attain the subject of yoga. It doesn't happen in weeks, months, years. There are lifetimes. But something you can attain. So that is one. So that is about sthirata, stiram, sukham, asana. Second thing is, so if there is sthirata in your pose, so whatever you did, there was stability. Whether you are standing, could your mind wander? Stability is not physical. I can sit and say I'm not moving, but my mind is traveling all over the world. That is not stability, because the mind also has to be there. Mind is not separate. That is one. Second thing is, then if you are talking, the next sutra is Prayatna Saithilya Ananta Samapattidan. Prayatna is effort, Saithilya is effortlessness. So when effort becomes effortless, when does that happen? When there is skill. So by practice, you acquire skill. Then effort becomes effortless. When effort becomes effortless, then you are sthira, you are sukha. And what does Bhagavad Gita say? Karma sukhakshalam. Skillfulness in action. So your actions, whatever the actions are, become skillful. And when in that case, your mind, body, everything is integrated. Then Ananta Samapatti Dham, there is a sense of vastness. You're not restricted. But at the same time, you're not searching. There is Samapatti. Then the third sutra goes on to say, Vato Dvandvaha Anabhigataha. There is no duality. So we can say no duality between body and mind, but when everything becomes one, there's no scope of duality. So when our practices, so there is nothing right or wrong if our practices give us this. And therefore, Patanjali has not said Sthira Sukham Tadasana, Sthira Sukham Swastikasana. He has said Sthira Sukham Asanam. So now people like us maybe manage Sthira Sukham Asanam in some asanas. People like Guruji became Iyengar, he could have Sthira Sukham Asana in Natarajasana. So that depends on our, I would say, not just practice, our ability to spread our consciousness and grace. Finally, everything also comes down to grace. So I would say this is how one could. So we need to understand. So what starts with what is the physical body is the penetration of the mind in the body, and then flow of the intelligence in the body. Then one gets maturity in practice. So this is how I would say. So I think nobody apart from our own self will guide us further. So as they say, the Guru is within. So
the other question I ask you is about the rest. Other yoga, they have a lot of rest in between. So yours is only right at the end. So why is that?
Well, actually, because there was a limited period of time, but in reality, we are building up on it. So you are not straining. So when I say how much I insisted, muscle bone, even if you are standing, there is firmness. So we are not trying to bring in the strain. Whatever is, it's because of unexposed conditions of the muscles, etc. So there is no need. You can build up. So you are gradually building up from pose to pose to pose. So because we do standing asanas first, now I kept saying muscles close. So when you sit, your spine is already straight, and then you can work on it further. Now the spine is straight and lengthened, then I made you curve. I didn't make you curve. So therefore, you are building up on whatever you had done. So therefore, there was no need of rest. However, if there is a condition that somebody is unhealthy or has issues, then accordingly we would modify. So that is when you are teaching on a regular basis. We have people, people will be in different ages, different health status. So accordingly, one modifies. So there is not a common situation, but there's a common principle and theme. Concepts, principle, themes are common, but the actual practices would vary on the condition of the student in front of you. I hope that answers.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Mehta.
And
Very much.
thank you, Chani, for your participation in all our yoga classes. I hope that, like other people, you've been enjoying, these 100 days of yoga, trying to expose you to the differences, but also the commonalities of how yoga is taught. We are very, very lucky, very fortunate to have access to the mother, yoga schools, institutions from India. And finally, they all talk about the same thing, and this unity is really what is at the forefront. There is a question about, asanas that are useful for a different ailment disease, but I am sorry, Bharat, that this is something that, as Rajvi was saying, each individual is different. So Rajvi, the question is, I would like to know certain yogasanas useful in different ailment disease. Will you explain, madam? So,
I would need a couple of days to do that because different diseases, different conditions, so I cannot. But yes, asanas work in different disease and conditions. But what is important is what is done and not just how it is done. So, like you have medication, the asanas cannot be prescribed because medications are tested. You have the FDA, you have quality control. Similarly, the quality of the asana is equally important or more important. So in principle, there are certain asanas, there is a sequence in which they need to be taught. Like I told this lady, there is an ailment in the knee. I will do something first, then I will teach you how to bend the knee. So there is a sequence in which it is done, and there is also duration. So that's where we use all the props and supports. How? Because if a person cannot do and they compromise and do, it can be harmful. So it's a very vast topic, and in this, as much as I would like to, it is not possible.
Thank you for your answer. I wanted to ask you, as we are exposing, the different styles, and you said, repeating the word of the master that Iyengar always said, there's no Iyengar yoga, there's only yoga. We all teach the same thing, the same asanas. They're the same asanas and there's the same goal. But still, what for you, how would you put, what are the pillars of the way yoga is taught in Iyengar institutes?
Well, to me, the first class I ever attended was with Guruji, and I've not been exposed to any other tradition or school. So for me to comment in what way it is different would be a little tricky. But I would say from my interactions with others, over the last 10, 15 years, when we met people from other schools of yoga, I think that it is through the asanas in our tradition, we manage to experience the 8 limbs of yoga. And that depends on the level and depth of practice. So yama and niyama are an integral part of any practice, yogic practices. But yama and niyama, by the regular practice of asanas, you become yama, practice yama and niyama. So as Guruji would say, that ayamic qualities are there in human beings. Asatya, himsa, abrahmacharya, steya, parigraha are every word. Are we, any of us, literally living with minimal? Even if we are practitioners of yoga? No. So these are traits, except that the levels may vary in the practitioner. So by the practice of yoga, these start becoming more natural for us. So the discipline of yama and niyama come in. Now, it is through the asana when we're working with this precision. Precision is very important because unless there is no precision, then you cannot get the effects. So I can believe I'm doing the pose, but am I really getting it? So that's where, as I said, Sthira Sukham, you're challenging the boundaries. And that's where a lot of technicalities come in to get into. But the technicalities are just the entry point. From there comes the experience. When we get into pranayam, unless the body is stable, then you can get into pranayam. Otherwise, it is the next limb of yoga. So unless the prana, unless there is freedom in the body, then the prana can freely move. But if the body is constricted, prana cannot move. So if pranayama is the extension and expansion of the prana, then you need to create that space. Then automatically, when we are practicing asanas, then you get into a state of pratyahara because you are not bothered by the external environments. You're looking inwards. When I'm saying feel, sense, what are we sensing? Not from outside. So your senses are redirected. So the mind which is outward going goes inwards. So pratyahara sets in. And along with pratyahara comes a state of focus. So the consciousness, which is the wandering consciousness, shifta, vikshipta consciousness, starts getting into a focus state, which is dharana. And when that state spreads, so when that focus from a single pointedness, maintaining that focus spreads, it shifts into dhyana. So it all starts with asana and it continues in asana. But it's for the practitioner whether we are going to leave the asanas as a physical practice. Fine, at least it's keeping our body healthy. At least we are less prone to common ailments. Well, it improves quality of life. Fair enough. But as a practitioner of yoga, as one penetrates, one moves and experiences the other angas of yoga. So that I would say is justifying the yoga. In the process, there is technicality. In the process, there is use of props. In the process, there is very accurate sequencing of asanas. And I would say another strength, another difference is like most subjects, you study theory first. Then you go to study. In our case, we study practical first, and then we corroborate what we have learned with the text. So therefore, if I have to get sthirata, it starts my experience to match what is written in the text. Rather than making my experience, saying what the text says I'm trying to do. We don't know whether the text is talking of to how to do it or the text is talking of an experience. Is sthirata the outcome, or are you supposed to, be stable, or you become stable? So I guess that is what I understand from my interactions, but I would never know because I have no other experience to compare it with.
Thank you. That's what, I was hoping that you would go in that way, because we often see yoga from Iyengar with props and, ropes. And so, and that's what you said, the technicality. But I would really, advise all the people who are listening to read this beautiful book, Light on Yoga by Iyengar, because it's really something that everybody can read, and it will give you the depth of what you've just shared, Rajvi, on, how beautifully he writes about this inner experience of the asanas, of what yoga is, from the body to beyond. So thank you for this, a little bit vision of what is this yoga for you. And if there was one quality that that was striking in the master that maybe you strived to emulate as a yoga teacher, what would it be?
I think the qualities of the master can never be one. But with Guruji, I think there was the amount of compassion, the level of compassion, the amount that he wanted to give. He never kept anything. So he said, giving does not enrich, giving does not impoverish, withholding does not enrich. So he was always giving, literally till the end. And I think that was one of the greatest qualities. And in that process, there was an upliftment of those of not only those who are in direct contact, but across the world. So in a way that he understood yoga, and having experienced from a state of ill health, he could relate to each and every individual who came to him directly or indirectly. So from a state of that level to reaching a state of divinity, I would call it, from where he moved. And the openness, anybody could meet him at any point of time. There was nothing, no layers covering, and that is the greatness of the Guru. So he inspired, he sort of, just the presence triggered you. So I think that is something. But it's for a Shishya to describe a Guru or traits of the Guru, I think a Shishya is not qualified to do so.
Well, I think you have given us quite really, past, this feeling of being in his presence. You've been very lucky, and that's why we really thank you so much for sharing that time, because through your own experience, the way you teach, we can feel what you have experienced, and this river keeps flowing through the teachers. So thank you very much, Vajrasana, for this beautiful session and the clarity of your instructions. I think you will see the comments. Maybe you didn't have time to do it as you were teaching, but people have been very, I feel, reaffirmed in the way they should practice with all the instructions that you have given, and the simplification on how to feel the asanas and the body parts and images that you've used. And also the clarity of your answers for the question answer. So with this, I think we can close the session on time. And I thank you again. And I want to thank Bhagavati also one more time for your demonstration. And we hope to find you again soon.
Thank you.
And if you want to also listen a little bit more to Rajvi, we still have, your session last year where you described Iyengar and the master. So you can also visit that video and listen to this beautiful interview. Thank you very much. And we say goodbye to everyone. And I hope you continue to practice and you make yoga a habit. We are entering the month of June. It's very soon the International Day of Yoga. It should be every day a day of yoga.